sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimitte nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Restore Christendom, wherein I am Tommy.
And I am Emily. I don't know. This is a really awkward opener all of
It's
a sudden.
supposed to be.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
Good evening, sir. I was trying to make it as awkward as the last one or even more.
Oh, sweet. As long as I was picking up what you were putting down, I'm good.
Yeah. Yes.
Good evening.
A little T and E, you are correct, Haram. Good evening.
Lucas, there's no Malort.
Yeah.
There's no Malort. There's a Malort shortage.
I am drinking Jim Beam Peach right now because, yeah, every time we go to liquor store, there's no Malort.
There's no Malort. So I just have, trusty white girl tumbler of Wooter, just some water.
Yes.
And also, I'm giving up Malort for Lent, so this is just practicing. So it's fine.
Yeah. It's pre-Lent giving up for Lent.
But I'll do sips of water every time you say the Malort.
Right.
And wish it was Malort.
Mm-hmm.
Until, I don't know, the future when I can have it again. Actually,
Yes.
I don't even want to ask. I'm going to be really racist. I don't even want to ask Habibi why we haven't had Malort. What happened? Did you forget to order it? Did I drink too much of it? What did I do wrong? Where did it go?
Right.
Because then he'll feel bad and get it in real quick, and I'm not going to be buying it for a month.
Right.
You know, and then you're just going to sit on it.
40 days, yes.
Yeah, and then you're just going to sit on it. So,
of course, then at
until I
Easter
show up
time,
and buy it.
we can show up and buy it ahead of time so that we can have it for Easter.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Celebrate. It's a feast day, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
No Malort, unfortunately.
No Malort. And I am smoking my new pipe again today. Those of you that may have not seen yesterday's show I got a new pipe in the mail yesterday, and I will show it off again today because it's gorgeous. But it is Venerable Archbishop Fulton Sheen. Got his God Loves You with his signature. That's how he signed everything.
Mm-hmm.
God Loves You and his signature, and then Archbishop Fulton J. Sheen on that side. Doesn't come across really well on camera, but it is
it's very nice.
It is gorgeous pipe.
Beautiful.
It's gorgeous pipe. Even without the Fulton Sheen stuff on it, which is ridiculously good. It's still just a phenomenal pipe in general. Yeah. It's just such a well crafted, beautiful, feels good in the hand and the mouth. But yeah, so that's enough of me going on about my pipe. That was what yesterday's show was supposed to be about.
Yeah.
So yeah, new pipe.
I'm going to say it.
Catholic Pipe Company. Everybody check them out.
I'm going to say it because I can hear Reef screeching it. That was pretty gay, babe. That was pretty gay.
What was gay?
It feels good in my hand and in my mouth.
Yes, that was extremely gay. I'm glad that you guys all picked up on that.
I love that Reef was like, I'm going to save my comments.
Yeah.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I heard you. In the back corners of my brain, somebody was going, gay.
Yes.
Again? I know. And he's not even wearing the whaler coat like he's supposed to be.
I know. Yeah, well, I you know,
It's on me for not getting him a whaler coat yet.
everybody knows you get new toys, you got to talk about them,
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
you know. And I know not a lot of people saw yesterday's stream, so I was like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
here's the new pipe.
Because you probably missed it.
Yeah, yeah.
Giving up people, calling people homos for Ramadan.
I thought Ramadan was a little while ago. Didn't we have Ramadan like 3-4 months ago? I'm pretty sure we did.
That's a. Oh, that sound really dumb, but that's a different one. But yes, it's a different one. But yes,
What do you mean it's a different one?
there's a different. It's a similar holiday to Ramadan that is in the fall time, but it's not called Ramadan. It's
Oh.
something else.
Okay. So, he says it's
Ramadan.
coming next month.
Yeah, Ramadan coincides with Easter.
Okay.
That's why Father Calvin Robinson was so out of sorts with the King of England packing dates for whatever it's called, the actual other name for it or whatever, which is the Muslim holy time that coincides with the Christian Easter.
Okay.
It's one of those little overlappy things that make the best of the Muslims convert to Christianity.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess at the same time you've got Passover, Easter, and Ramadan.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's a big time of year.
Yeah.
One would wonder why.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
and
gosh.
I'm still not
yes,
wearing
I
my-
know. He's not wearing his Captain Ahab coat because he has a piece of shit wife who hasn't gotten one for him yet. I know,
Well,
Rick.
Doesn't my felt peacoat thing, doesn't that count?
I mean, it might. Do you want to sit down here in a show in that?
I mean, it's kind of
If it
chilly
would
down
make
here.
if it would make the people happy, you'd do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I'm saying.
All right. Well, I guess I'll run go grab that.
No, it's fine.
No, I'm just kidding. Or you just go bald headed.
Yeah.
It's too cold to be
It
down
is.
here with no hat. I put on a hat not for like my ears' sake today, but because it's fucking cold down here.
Yeah.
We finally had a snap of like warm. So now the cold is extra cold.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Thank you very much, Not Nice Guy. He is risen. He is indeed.
Indeed.
Indeed. Thank you, sir. I'll leave that linger for a minute since
Let it sit up there. All right. Well, today we only have we have two things that we're going to reference and chit chat about. Actually, 3 because I sent one that Arcane sent me. Yeah, I know. It's because I'm bald. I know. It's just a long ruse. It's a really good weave. It's not none of this Temu weave. It's that real Indian hair.
Is that real Cherokee hair tampons?
That
For all the South Park fans out there?
paid good money at the Hindu temple for this weave, and I will not be slandered, I guess. I don't know. I lost it. 78 today in
Yeah,
Florida.
you sound like
my
my parents now. Tell me how warm it is in Florida all the time. Like, I don't care.
It was chilly the other day. It was 59.
Yeah, it went down to 59.
It was 59 at 7 a.m. I had to wear a coat on my walk.
Yeah.
I had to wear a little jacket.
89 in Arizona. Yeah. It's I mean, it went way up to like 54 today here in Central Illinois.
It got all the way up there, and I had the front door open and the little screen on the screen door open, and I was like, air outside.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I was trapped in a factory all day.
Yeah. Well, and then as soon as the sun moved, I had to shut everything because it's still frickin' cold.
Everyone say their city temperature will be badass.
It is pretty badass. It is kind of like a Weather Channel segment. And now for the weather.
Yeah. Apparently,
Currently 69, wherever Not Nice Guy is.
yeah, I don't believe that. That sounds like a made up number.
Eamon Rat believes it's 83 degrees in SoCal.
Yeah, so Haram, you got the same weather we got here. At 50, 55-ish. Who's gay now? That is pretty gay.
But it's 90.
You guys warm me up. That is pretty gay, sir.
But it's 98 in my heart because you guys warm me up. It's
Yeah.
so sweet.
It was -9 here a few days ago too, Stacks. We feel your pain.
That should actually go on a card. Like a thinking of you card. It was 56 degrees today. But thinking or what was it? But it's 98 in my heart because you warm me up.
Yeah. You should sell that one to Hallmark there,
Yeah.
Haram.
Yeah.
Catholic climate updates. Yes. For breaking news on Catholic weather. What is Catholic weather? I don't know, but tune in to find out. Wait, then how do we find out?
I don't know. The people told us.
They tune in and we find out somehow, and then we tell them?
Yes, they tell us.
This seems like an underpants gnome things again. Like we're missing a step.
I don't think so.
Like step 1, collect the underpants. Step 2.
Nope.
Step 3, cash out.
Step 1, turn on stream. Step 2, say, it was cold today. What was your weather like? And then they give you the answer. Step 3, tell them the answer. As if they can't read the same chat as we're live. Restore temperature dome.
Oh.
Then we'd all have to switch over to like Celsius because that's what everybody else uses. I don't know.
Oh, yes. The weather at the Vatican. What is the weather at the Vatican, Emily?
I don't know.
If only you
I
had a
guess I can
device in
look.
front of you that could give you these.
I guess I could check
I
the
think-
interwebs.
I think it's similar to around here. I think it was like in the
Vatican
high 40s, low 50s right now.
weather. 49 degrees Fahrenheit.
Hey, I was right. Look at that. 45 to 50, I said. Yep.
Yep.
Oh, whoa.
10% precipitation chance. It's cloudy. Cloudy 49.
I'm just messing with y'all because I like y'all are pretty good folks, even though you're Catholics. By the way, 82 today in Jacksonville. Summer's in the air and it sucks. Well, thank you very much, sir.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Good. So it's so warm. Go do some fishing for us because we've been iced out.
Yeah. Go
I've been
catch-
iced out for so long, and I'm not gonna ice fish. I'm not.
Not doing it.
I don't hate my wife that much that I need to go sit on a frozen lake and fish through a little hole.
Aw. Oh, wait. You mean as in like to not take me with you or for me to sit there and
I guess that's
be
just
frozen with you?
in my mind. People that go ice fishing just hate their house and their home and their wives and their family
They
that
don't have
much
a garage to hide in.
that they just even if they did, they just don't want. They want to go
That's still too close.
sit out, yeah, on a frozen lake and cut a little hole in the water and stick the tiniest little fishing rod you've ever seen in your life in it. It's just like I don't know, man.
It is something. I'm not a ice fisher that has zero interest to me. No, thank you. And even like not ice fishing, being out cold at a certain point, being outside in the cold is not enjoyable. Certain activities are just not enjoyable in the wintertime.
Right.
Boating is one of them.
Yes. Yes. Boating is not like
No.
unless we're going to Michigan for Steelhead, which we
Right.
just haven't had the opportunity for this year.
And that's the thing. Like it has to be a very specific event that makes
Hello,
it
Ginny.
worth it. But even that, you're still like, is it worth it though? Is it worth it though? The whole time you're shivering, your buns off, and your whole face is frozen. You know.
Right.
But maybe catching a fish will make it nice.
Yes. Emily seems cool, but she pissed off Top.
Oh well,
Yeah.
that'll happen when you're annoying. You're bound to piss off a few people. He's not the first person I made mad, and he definitely won't be the last one.
Yeah. I will probably buy both. Tubertimo, just so you know.
Yeah, it probably is a both.
Yeah.
Are we coming to the Grifties? No, we are not. We're not going to make it this year. I really wanted to, but like a dumbass, I thought going to Florida in October would be funner. And turns out my dumbass was wrong. I should have just waited and saved money and gone to the Grifties instead. So no, unfortunately, I will not be at the Grifties.
Yeah, no, riding motorcycles is not fun in the cold either. So I have not had any fun. My boat and my motorcycles have been sitting in the garage for months.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah. His poor motorcycles, like mostly because I'm forgetful. But our water delivery, like our empty 5-gallon jugs, like it's a little. They're circled around his motorcycle right now. He couldn't. If he wanted to ride it, it would take probably about 10 minutes moving water bottles around so he could get to his bike.
really? You got it all blocked in? I haven't even looked at it recently. I haven't been in the front of the garage in a while.
Right. Yeah.
There's been no need.
Yes, I did that earlier today. You're officially blocked in, unfortunately. Good evening, Jay Brooks. What the hell is the Grifties? What the hell is the Grifties? Who asked that? Scroll up. I bet you it was Jenny. I'm sorry. Let me watch my tone.
Yeah.
Let me watch my tone. Oh, it's Arcane. What the hell is the Grifties? The Grifties is the #1 award show of the year, hosted by none other than Hotep Jesus himself. And that's where the grifters, the annoying blue chicks, the energy vampires of the internet are awarded Grifter of the Year. Not necessarily specifically Grifter of the Year. That's its own award. But there's certain categories for types of grifters. And you can nominate one. You spend like $5 to nominate somebody, and then they're in the thing and people vote for them. You know, it's a voting thing. The people, we the people, speak, and we decide who is the griftiest of the grifters. And that's what the Grifties is. It's an award ceremony. It's a fun get together. This is the second in-person one.
That nice guy nailed it on the head.
The second in-person one. I don't know, but
It's an award show for Negroes.
Yep, it is an award show for Negroes. But
Yes.
white people win awards there too. And just so y'all know, a majority of Hotep Nation is white. So there's that.
It is kind of weird, isn't it?
What is kind of weird?
That the majority of Hoteps are white.
No, because they're just, I mean, I guess sure, on its face, that might be odd. But once you get past the dumb raceness of it, you realize, like, well, I don't fucking know. Decent people kind of want to, like, hang out together.
Mm-hmm.
And that certain level of decent personness, not that you go colorblind, but, like, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, I hear you.
But also, you know, the Haram Life is a DEI presenter.
I just learned on X today that he's white. I saw he made a post about him being white, and I was completely unaware of his whiteness until just today.
Why would you be white now? That's hilarious.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to comment on it because I saw it like right before we went on, but I was like, since when are you white, homie?
Well, yeah. That's funny. Let me know how it works out for you, bud.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not in like a smart assy way, but yeah, and that's the thing is like I know that you can, but it's been working. Not like a nigga. First of all, he's Albanian, which should explain the Muslimism, but also, is he really Muslim? Or is that just to get a rise out of people? We'll never know. We'll never know.
I know.
Oh.
Oh, I know for sure.
Yeah.
He is not a Muslim.
I'm just fucking around. That's not my story to tell.
Yeah, you don't have to tell it. I can just. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to see some stuff because I was.
Oh, I already put it all up there.
Chit chatting, and
you missed it.
I
I put them all up there already, man.
Oh,
every last one of them.
She's not gonna be a people pleaser and will speak her mind. Doesn't believe I could ever dislike her. Oh well, thank you. Thanks, Christina. I really wanted to see what Christina had to say because I was like, there was a few of them, and I know I missed something. Yeah. So, TLDR on I pissed off Top. Yes, I pissed off Top Lobster. I am the bane of his existence. He made that abundantly clear. Do I care? No. I hope I redecorated his brain while I was in there. But also, message received. I will no longer annoy you with my presence. I will fuck off and do something over here. That's fine. I'm a big girl. That's fine. I'm okay. But yeah, I made him mad, and that's fine. Haven't paid attention since I fully processed that, oh, I really am on this nigga's last nerve. I really am. Like, I'm causing problems for him. That's not a thing I want to do. Let me just get on out of here. So, caught up on that.
All right.
Ow. Oh gosh, it's moving so fast. That's not even about us. Okay, let's get into actually why we're here now that we've been here for 20 minutes.
Right. All right, guys, thanks for coming out. We will see
you. Stop it. No. Okay, cool. So, as the title may suggest, we have things to present and discuss that provides evidence for the truth of Christianity. Like times that Christianity has been proven to be true.
Well, now some of this. Ooh,
good
okay.
job.
So some of this, I would say, can be used as outright evidence. Very little of it as outright evidence to say like a non-believer or somebody who has no, call them an atheist or whatever. And then others of it, I think, is a stretch to call it evidence.
hmm
I mean, to somebody like me or you, like, yeah, that's evidence. But to a non-believer, you know what I mean? Like, some of this isn't exactly evidence.
True.
So it's strong opinion. That's not quite good enough. It's somewhere between strong opinion and evidence. I don't know.
Um,
There's a word I'm looking for, and I can't grab it right now.
I want to say substantiate, but that's not it. That's what they do, but that's
Right.
not what that's not what it is.
No.
Oh gosh.
Oh, what did you do?
No, let me.
Oh, take that off.
Okay, I won't try to help.
What do you? Yeah.
Yeah,
Please don't.
I forget that you have scenes set up.
Yeah, don't touch things.
Okay.
Please.
All right.
All right. You can read though.
Oh, okay. I'll do that. I'll just read it off of this one. Evidence that Christianity is true. Historical evidence.
So these first two, I think, would be your strongest evidence, especially number one.
Okay. Oh, all right. So number one, the existence of Jesus. Multiple sources outside the Bible reference Jesus, including Roman historians, specifically Tacitus and Suetonius, Jewish historians, Josephus, and other ancient writers, Pliny the Younger. These names. So
yeah, basically, Jesus came during the time of the Roman Empire, and the Roman Empire documented things meticulously.
they took notes. Yeah.
So Rome not only like Josephus of the Jewish historian of Rome, but like other historians from that time wrote a lot about Jesus. Documented his life. You can legitimately say he was a real person.
Yeah.
Who actually perform miracles. Now, whether you want to argue it was magic tricks or actual miracles or whatever.
Yeah, you can do that on your own time.
Yeah, that's if you refuse, but like these people saw it, wrote it down, and 2,000 years later, we have that account firsthand from them.
Right.
So that would be my strongest evidence right there to somebody who's a non-believer. Read a history book. Read these people. You know what I mean? Like these are not Christian writings.
Yeah, if he's not real, then why is this Roman dude,
right? Why did
Tacitus taking the time to write about it?
Yes. Why did the Romans feel the need to catalog this guy's life if he was nobody? If he one didn't exist, and then two was nobody special? Did they sit there and write about everybody's life during that time? Was fucking Jimbo the farmer? Do we got books? Do we got things written down about him from the Roman historians?
No, I don't think I've ever read anything. Not even so much as like a graffiti on a wall or anything.
So yeah, so that's my big thing. Like if people of that time that were not Jewish or Christian, because Christian didn't really exist at the time, thought enough to write this shit down.
Yeah, there's no other carpenters that have a book written by somebody.
And it's not like they were like documenting this old house or anything like that. Right. You know what I mean? It's not like he was refurbishing Jewish houses and like.
And Jesus was assigned to this job site. That's not what they wrote down. Oh goodness.
All right. Take it easy, Haram. Thank you for stopping by.
Have a wonderful night, sir.
Take me to the church on Cumberland Road. Yes. Yes.
They're talking about Copperhead Road lyrics. So the second thing is the early Christian writings. New Testament documents are early, well-attested, and numerous compared to other ancient texts. Manuscript evidence supports their reliability. So that would be the New Testament, and then also any of the other stuff that's written at or about the same time.
Yes, there's lots
included in.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of Bible Christians, evangelicals miss out on. Is there is a lot of other writing from that time period that is not in the Bible,
right?
That is still good, worth reading. Then, like I said, there's all the stuff written by the apostles or the disciples of the apostles, that the church fathers. That again, worth reading. Might not be scripture, but definitely worth reading.
Right, yeah, it's somebody closest to the event.
The apostle said, if we wrote down everything Jesus did and said, there wouldn't, the the world couldn't contain all the books.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So there's so much stuff that is not in the Bible that these people were passed down. Stuff was passed down to them, and the only way to find out what that stuff was is to go ahead and read their works.
Read what they had to write about it.
Yeah.
I think one thing that leads me to not be dismissive of like early church writings or early Christian writings or the stuff that's like not in the Bible. That the way that we are today, right? How many different influences do we follow to get information from? When a news thing happens, we have like 4 different people we're going to go to, and then a 5th person, and then we're going to decide what we think about it. So, and in the same ways that we have different people who follow different informations and whatever, that's a trait of humanity. That's something that
Right.
we've always done, whether it be gossiping at the water well or sitting down in parlors in the 30s and 40s, smoking cigars, pontificating, or the Romans sitting around doing the same thing. That's just it's a thing that humans do. So the idea of reading writings from people who actually were around Jesus, or at least one person removed from Jesus, I think any Christian today should be clamoring at the opportunity to do that. In my opinion, in a world where you're so far removed from the reverence and grace and acknowledgement that God deserves, like, I think you should try to get as close back to it as you could.
I got to interrupt you real quick. Emily, the best song to boot scoot to is the Boot Scoot and Boogie. It's in the name. Sorry, I had to get that. Had to get that out
Had to
there.
get that out there. That's
I
fine.
had to get that off my chest.
That's okay. You
I-
can get it out. You feel better?
Yeah, I do. I feel a lot better about
Okay,
it.
good.
Where were we now?
I don't know. I was talking about getting back to the closest people to Jesus and
Yes.
reading what they wrote down.
Which one did you stop on? 2 or 3?
Number 2.
Okay, so go at number 3.
Well, no. Yeah, I guess number 3. The eyewitness accounts. The Gospels are based on eyewitness testimonies. Authors like Matthew, John, and close associates of Peter and Paul, which would be Mark and Luke, are traditionally seen as direct witnesses or those who recorded eyewitness testimonies. So again, that's one of those things where today we go to 3 to 5 different sources, gather up all the information that we can, and then distill it down to something we understand. That's just a normal human thing. That's just
Right.
something we have all done.
And that's what the Catholic Church already did.
Right.
Thousands of years ago. They already compiled all these stories. They've got these writings from these people. They know it. They know what was taught to them. And they said, okay, well, we'll just continue this.
Yep. It's something that humans have done and always do and will continue to do so. And then also B, the Catholic Church had the forethought, the insight, the wisdom from the Holy Spirit to say, you should probably hold on to that. You should probably keep this stuff. We should probably turn some of this into traditions. Let's keep doing this. Because, as we know most of it, right? Like it only takes 3 generations for people to forget stuff.
Yeah,
And to change things.
If that.
These
days, it takes 15 minutes. You don't even need a generation.
Well,
Everybody forgot what happened 20 minutes ago.
Monday morning, we worked it out that they went from 18 to 21 years of hardcore indoctrination, 40 hours a week to like getting someone's mind to now they've cut it all the way down to 4 years.
Yeah.
By the time your kid's in 4th grade, they're gonna be a T person. The school has gotten them to the point where they're either gonna be in therapy or they're gonna be a T person. They cut that process down to 4.5 years.
Okay.
So like the meddling.
So wow, we went from 12 to 4. That's pretty impressive.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Like that's Doge levels of efficiency.
Yeah.
And y'all want to harp and whine about some autists looking at some numbers on a piece of paper.
Clearly,
Get out of
autists
my
are the ones that
face.
made that possible. Just a different type of autist.
Just a different type of autist,
Yeah.
right? Like the bad guy brain type of
Mhm.
autist.
Yeah.
But now the right and just type of autism is taking over, and I am here for it. I love it. It's my favorite kind of autism. But anyways, it's when I tell people be Catholic, I'm not just saying it to be a flippant, annoying broad on the internet. I say that because like once you look at it objectively, once you look at it as a whole, it's like the best way to be a human. It's the best way to survive being a human in 2025 with everything that's being thrown at us.
Yeah, I get it though.
Like, all the history is there for you. All of your dumb little ideas that you think you have, which is just heresy that you weren't told that's heresy yet, they've
Right.
already flushed it out.
Well, that's kind of my thing though. Like, I kind of understand it. Like, a lot of people are raised in America. This is an American thing.
Yeah, it
mainly.
is an American thing.
A lot of people are raised in America, and they've already got, by the time they're old enough to read, they've already got this preconceived notion. They've already got this lens that they're reading the Bible through on how you're supposed to interpret these things. And since they base everything off of the Pauline books, which are very easy to interpret improperly, they're very confusing. Peter said that himself, that this stuff is very confusing. But yeah, like, so they're already looking at confusing things through a lens that's already been distorted. And so I get where they come from. The problem I have is that, like, after a certain age, like, you should have picked up a book and looked at some things yourself. If you're really a Christian, you should strive to learn as much as you can about the religion. And if you learn as much as you can about Christ and God and the church and the history of Christianity, you come out the other end Catholic. It's just the way it works.
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't take my word for it. There's a million other people you can find online that'll tell you the exact same story.
Yeah.
You start looking into Christianity deeper than this surface level Bible Christian evangelical
And that's even
Zionist dispensationalist completely. People say they're Bible Christians, but like, all the stuff they believe in isn't in the Bible.
It's not. It's not.
Like,
it's heretical.
Sola Scriptura, Bible alone, is not in the Bible anywhere. So if you believe in Scripture alone, but Scripture alone doesn't tell you to believe Scripture alone, then where does that come from? And how can you say that you believe in Scripture alone?
Because it makes their fleshy ego sac feel good.
Yeah.
It strokes the Lucifer in them.
I guess.
But that's how it all boils down, is at some point, once you admit that there is an error in God's word, then it all falls apart. It all falls apart.
Well, it's not that there's an error in God's word.
Immediately fall apart.
It's that there's an error in the way you're interpreting it.
Right. Well, but that's the thing, is like, the idea of sola scriptura comes from people's interpretations of the words that are actually in the Bible.
Kind of.
Isn't, I mean, like, if
like, I mean, I've never met a single person who believes in sola scriptura that has pointed to me anywhere where sola scriptura is in the Bible. So
no, it's not. And the sola scriptura people are just evangelical verse regurgitators who don't actually have original thought. They're Borg Christians, if that makes sense. It's like they don't actually believe this stuff. They've just memorized it and internalized it to a point where they can seem like they believe it.
Yeah. No, exactly. They just regurgitate verses and stuff. Yeah.
But it's weaponized religion.
It's very shallow. It's just extremely shallow. It takes away the thousands of years of rich tradition and throws them all away to quote a modern translation of an ancient book.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And a lot of the modern translations are pretty sus anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I get how you came to that conclusion reading that version of the Bible. By the way, that's not what it was actually written down. That's paraphrasing.
Yeah, A, it's paraphrasing, B, it's loose translations, and like it's not what it's intended to be. But even like Shakespeare, you can't do a new translation of that and it still have the same effect, or a classical type of poetry, like an old, I don't know, something, and throw new words in it like cap and bussin'. That's not it.
Right, yeah.
It's not the same.
No cap.
Yeah, it's not the same. And I guess maybe one thing that could be hindering the evangelical from looking in the mirror and saying, this isn't right, would be the fact that then you'd have to examine yourself.
Yeah, well, then you'd have to admit that
something would be required of you to have this faith.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. The problem is, if you admit that you're wrong and that Catholicism is correct, then now you actually have to do things.
Right.
It's not good enough to just say, I believe in God, so I'm going to heaven. Like, the devil believes in God too, buddy. Where's he going?
Yeah.
You know, the devil believes Jesus is the Son of God too.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're going to heaven because you believe Jesus is the Son of God.
No. There's works that have to happen, and then the fruits and the da-da-das. There's a whole process to this. Don't worry about it. The Catholic Church has preserved it
It's
for
actually in the Bible
last
too. If you just
2,000
read the
years.
Bible
Yeah.
and take the filtered lens off that you're looking at it through, read an actual good translation of the Bible. You know, it doesn't have to be King James or Douay Rheims with the flowery language. There are modern day interpretations that are good and word for word.
Yeah.
That aren't, you know, like too many modern, especially like Protestant evangelical Bibles are super paraphrased
Mm-hmm.
and in a certain direction. Like
Right.
they're definitely trying to make a certain point with the way they paraphrase them.
Right. The word choices are made on purpose. On purpose. So much so that like the phrasing of prayer and fasting are not in there. That's not something that
You're
these
welcome,
people are
Emily.
told, which really pushes it's very American.
Yeah.
It's a very American version of Christianity, and you know, America is great.
Only
I
in
love her.
America would this take off and people actually believe it could be possible.
Yeah.
Only in America.
Yeah, and that's
Like in every other country where people have actually had to suffer at some point in history, like, yeah, no, these people know, like, no, suffering's part of it, man. Like,
yeah,
suffering's part of it.
Yep. The same reasons, you know, I give for the Orthodox Church as to why Americans shouldn't look to that as a solution or a source for them. Number one, you're not of those Eastern European countries' origins. You're not, and that's fine. Leave those to those immigrant people. But then also, like, you do not.
Yeah, that's
You don't have it in you to
right.
love and respect God the way that someone from that type of a country does. It's been so good in America for so fucking long, and we're so far removed from actual suffering
Yeah.
that like we don't know. I mean, again, don't get me wrong. We got people like JD Vance, right? Like grew up in poor ass Appalachia. We got people, no shade, Fishing Rick, but we got people like Florida man, Fishing Rick, you know. Not that he's suffering or anything, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like you've got people like me.
No, I
who
saw a
grew up
video of
on
him with a nice bass the other day. He ain't suffering
he's
at all.
not suffering at all.
No,
But
we're
you got-
suffering. He's got bass.
You got people like me who grew up on a fucking dirt road in a fucking trailer. You know what I mean? Like we have people who have proximity to suffering and uncomfortableness, but just not the same way that other parts of the world have
No.
in such a long way.
Talk to somebody in Yugoslavia from 1980. You know what I mean?
Or talk to somebody from Yugoslavia from 2004.
Or from today, to be honest.
You know what I mean?
Be,
Or
yeah,
from
like,
today,
let's be, yeah.
right? Like the worst. Again, I understand that parts of
They're good
America-
times. They're still unbearable for us.
Right. Right. That's the thing. Is like we bitch and moan because our apartment complex shuts off the air conditioner to do some sort of service for 12 hours or whatever. It's the worst thing ever. You know, there's new laws because it can't get over a certain temperature in apartments now, right? Like we don't really suffer much, and any slight amount of suffering we are faced with, we call a manager about.
Right.
We run up the chain of command until
Whoa,
we
whoa.
get somebody who can fix it.
Yeah.
And that's just how Americans are. We're the Karens of the planet.
Yes. My boiled cabbage and part of my leather shoe doesn't taste very good. Who do I
Yeah.
complain to?
Yeah.
Like these are, you know.
Ugh, boiled cabbage again?
Yeah.
No, well, just fucking be grateful it's not rock soup.
Right. Yeah. Be thankful I have something other than water to put in my belly.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did you leave off on?
Oh, you know, number 3.
Oh, okay. Sweet. I wasn't going to make it too far into this list anyway. A lot of the stuff as you get down lower is, like I said, it's just like, all right, now
gets-
you're really stretching this. I wouldn't call a lot of this evidence. But so far, historical evidence, early church writings, eyewitness accounts, and the number 4 count up, the martyrdom of the apostles. Many of the apostles and early Christians were martyred for their belief in the resurrection of Jesus, indicating their genuine conviction. So people that were very close to the time period of Jesus that actually were alive during the time he was alive and right after,
Mhm.
a lot of them died for their belief in Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't think these people would have been convicted enough to die these were gruesome deaths. These are not like lethal injection.
No.
Even the electric chair compared to how these guys died is
yeah.
like, give me the electric chair, please.
Dry sponge electric chair even.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but no, we're talking
Bad
people
batch of
skinned
lethal
alive. Yeah.
injection even.
Yeah, we're talking people skinned alive, burned at the stake.
I don't want to derail you, but we are so fucking soft and removed from suffering that we have stopped doing lethal injections in the ways that we used to, and as many as we used to, because a handful of them had to do a little gurgling before they died. Murderers had to do a little gurgling before they died, so we stopped lethally injecting them. That's how
Right.
far removed from suffering we are.
Right, but St. Peter was crucified upside down.
And other people were literally burned alive or skinned alive and then had their hands chopped off.
Yeah,
And
a lot of beheadedness.
A lot of beatings and then beheadings.
Yeah. Look at our Lord, scourged at the pillar.
Yeah.
Crown of thorns, had to carry his cross down, you know what I mean? And then nailed to a cross and left to hang to die. Like, you don't know suffering.
Yeah, but they got your soy latte wrong, and that
Right.
deserves a meltdown.
Yeah. Like the best I can come up with for Lent to tie my suffering to his is give up Malort and weed. You know what I mean? Like that's softer we.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna suffer like Christ. I'm gonna give up Malort and weed and fast and not eat meat.
I'm gonna give up Malort and weed and fast, which means have one meal a day, not have fleshy meat.
Yeah, so no meat.
Not be in live chats during the day, not be active, super active in the dangerous retards chat. Like I'm giving up a lot of dumb shit to tie my sufferings to Christ because
but that's the best.
Pretty damn good because I don't really have anything I could fucking run 10 sets of stairs every 3 hours, I guess. But is that really suffering? No, I'll be ripped at the end of it. So it's I don't know. The interesting perspective, this pre-Lent business.
Yes. Oh wait.
They burned their steak.
Yeah, how pissed off would you be if they burned your steak, bro? Like these people had to deal with some real problems. They burned their steaks.
Yep, they burned their steaks.
I couldn't eat a burnt steak. Yeah.
I tell you what, you slap ketchup up on a burnt steak, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
You'd be fine.
So
Christ suffered everything in Gethsemane. He revealed having to suffer our pain because it was a relief to real suffering.
Mm-hmm. That's some of that Mormon crap. Don't pay attention to him. No, just kidding.
Is the joke.
Are we still talking about cabbage?
We are talking about cabbage.
That's like the third cabbage comment here.
You know what? I don't know. I'm not really a cabbage person, but the way that he just said to make it, I could probably get down with that. I guess the only thing I use cabbage for is a good slaw.
Yeah, a good slaw.
Yeah.
Corned beef and cabbage on St. Patrick's Day. I'm okay with that.
We've never done that, for the record.
We have, but I have in the past. And I actually do like corned beef and cabbage on St. Patrick's Day. Or fried cabbage and potatoes, apparently.
Fried cabbage and potatoes, yeah.
I've never had that. That sounds pretty good.
Honestly, Emily, that's all I was thinking of whenever he said corned beef and cabbage. I was like, I ain't fucking stinking up my house. I remember, I've had to make corned beef.
You don't want to stink up the house. You can pay the bills.
Times. Well, now listen, I'll make a brisket and I'll make you some cabbage, but I don't know if I'm
okay. How about can we do brisket and coleslaw and we'll call it corned beef and cabbage?
We could do that.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
We can do that.
Yeah.
I was gonna do the fried cabbage and potatoes.
Or we could do fried cabbage and potatoes. I'm okay with that too. We could kimchi that cabbage up if you wanted.
I ain't got time for that.
Oh God.
I don't have time or
the entire country of South Korea smells like human shit and kimchi. It's
good to know.
Yeah, no, at least it did in the early 2000s. I'm sure it's the same now.
Oh, I'm sure it's just gotten worse.
Yeah. But yeah, they fertilized the fields with the rice paddies, and yeah, just fermented cabbage stinks, and yeah, the whole country just stinks of it.
Yeah, no. Slaw is the worst preparation of cabbage. Well, and that's the thing though, is I do
yes, cabbage on a street taco was amazing. Jay Brooks,
really good. It's the best. Yeah, so I make our coleslaw from, I wouldn't say scratch because I'll get the bag of coleslaw mix from the store, throw out the actual mix that they give you, and I make my own mix because I worked at ShopRite where we made salads. So it's apple cider vinegar, some brown sugar, and mayo, and you mix it up. But you have to get the mix together and let it sit long enough because the apple cider vinegar has to soften up the cabbage.
Yeah, what she said.
Yeah. Yeah. Needs at least like a good 8-hour soak.
Yeah, Emily, I also eat like a 5-year-old, to be fair. I'm pretty picky about a lot of things. I want dino nuggies and fries.
I was just sitting here thinking, I'm like, not really, because there's only a handful of things that you're just like not gonna eat, and they're not
Mushrooms.
any crazier than my handful of things I'm not gonna eat.
Mushrooms. I am not going to eat mushrooms at all.
He is not gonna eat mushrooms, and I am not fucking eating soggy bread. I am not.
Yeah, no, I ain't no soggy bread either.
I ain't doing that.
Nope.
You ain't about to give me no freaking untoasted meatball sub drowning in the sauce. Nope. Keep that
Hello,
away from me.
Xerox.
Hello,
yeah,
Xerox.
no. You guys can eat soggy bread all you want, but I love myself. I am not going to do it.
Yeah. Danny are too much alike. Yeah.
Oh, I
How
lost that comment.
we do a brisket in the oven, really low and slow. Yeah, I'll do that. That's what I said. Like, I'll do a brisket and some cabbage something, but a corned beef and cabbage, just sounds, it smells like a dive bar, and I'm not drunk enough for that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want my house smelling like a dive bar on St. Patrick's Day, because then I'm going to like think that I'm supposed to be blackout drunk and drinking green beers or something.
Yeah. Lucas, shrooms are good.
Oh yeah, those kinds of shrooms.
I don't eat mushrooms. Yeah, I like those, but I don't eat mushrooms.
Those by the pound.
Right.
The taste of shit's never stopped him.
Right. Yeah.
It's the texture though.
The dried mushrooms are fine. Whatever,
Dried
man.
mushrooms.
You just throw them on a Taco Bell taco. It's the best way to do it, to be honest.
Mushrooms with a trip, delicious.
Right. Well, they're
Just
not those. They're
mushrooms
disgusting,
for
but
the
I eat them.
sake of mushrooms. Gross.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess point number 4 was the martyrdom of the apostles, and there's something.
Oh yeah, this just turned into a chat episode.
Whatever. It goes like that sometimes.
Yeah,
this is no big deal.
Just turned into a chat episode. At this
not
point.
that we didn't want to go through this list. We just knew we weren't going to go through most of it. So as far as the martyrs go, the martyrdom of the apostles, and that first draft of Christians, there was somebody involved.
The first 300 years of Christianity, they're all getting murdered. They're all getting martyred. Yeah.
Well, yeah. But there was somebody involved. I want to say it was Watergate. And it was one of the people involved in the investigation of it. And not that like this brought them to Christianity, but it was one of their own like, moments, was like realizing that like the apostles died a terrible war crime death, saying Christ is indeed king.
Right.
Right. Like that's how they went out. That was theirs, and you could not shake them of that truth.
Yep.
And then like something like Watergate happens, and this band of dudes crumbles in less than like 90 days. They all crumble, and they're all spilling their guts, singing like canaries, can't keep a lie to save their lives. So it was one of those things, especially in that early church, especially with the apostles and stuff. When you consider the martyrs, that's one of the things that really, as a 2025 human being, has me like, this is the truth, and I should try to get as close to that period of time for information as I can.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I should be getting a majority of my information should be from the people who died, believing it.
Yeah, I mean, well,
because aside from, things going down in the Congo, and bands of Mohammedans coming in and murdering people, we don't have martyrs the same way that we used to. And even in those situations where they do die as martyrs, it's not nearly the same.
Yeah.
We have had not that we have had no pushback to being Christians for a long time, but we haven't had
That kind of pushback.
that level of pushback.
You've had
we
the
have not required that level of faith and
yeah.
commitment.
You've had the occasional beheading by ISIS and
Right, but
in small numbers.
they would have done anybody.
But most Christians that have been martyred in these days, it's usually a bolt in the back of the head, which is pretty easy to deal with compared to, I don't know, skinned alive.
Right. Or beaten to death and then beheaded.
Right, yeah, stoned to death.
Stoned to death, beaten to death, bludgeoned, whatever they felt like at the moment. But yeah, we're just not built like that. Not that we as humanity, Americans specifically,
Yeah, Americans specifically.
we are not built for that. Like we can't even come together and say America is great and stand up and die for that. We got people lighting themselves on fire, free Palestine,
Right.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yep.
Was there anything else in this?
Yeah, let's go. We'll go 5 and 6 at least.
Okay.
We'll do the basic historical evidence, and we'll skip kind
We'll
of the rest
skip
of the
philosophical Armstrong stretching
Yeah.
stuff. Okay, cool. So 5 would be the empty tomb. Multiple independent sources report the empty tomb of Jesus. The fact that women whose testimonies were less valued at the time are cited as the primary witnesses adds to the credibility. So in a time where they didn't listen to women, they listened to these women.
Right, yeah. That's but yeah, that's another thing that was documented in history was that Jesus' tomb. Now, some could argue, oh, well, they took the body, the apostles went and took the body so they could say he had risen. I've heard things, but it is historical fact that after Jesus' crucifixion, they did find the tomb empty.
Yeah.
So that is historical fact. Now, whether somebody wants to argue whether the apostles took the body and did something with it so that they could claim resurrection, or that
speculation.
Yeah, or he actually rose. Neither here nor there. The historical evidence is actually that the tomb was empty.
A body went in, we opened it, there was nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so the number 6 puts us at the resurrection appearances. Various accounts described post-resurrection appearances of Jesus to multiple people, including groups of disciples and skeptics like Paul and James.
Yes. And I'm sure most people watching know that Paul was not one of the original disciples. He actually was a Pharisee who was persecuting the disciples and Jesus.
He was actually on his way to go start some more shit.
Yeah, he was on his way to go start some shit when Jesus appeared to him post-death. And what are you laughing at?
My Apostle Paul sunglasses line.
Your Apostle Paul sunglasses? Oh, yeah. So yeah, Jesus appeared to the Apostle Paul and said, "Why are you persecuting me?" And then he became a follower of Christ.
He was like, "I don't know, bro. I heard some sketchy shit." And I said, "Not on my planet."
Right. Well, he was a Pharisee, so,
Yeah, well.
Yes.
Who wasn't a Pharisee at the time? Am I right?
I wasn't. You think I was?
You weren't even alive.
You think I was?
You weren't even alive.
I could have been. I'm pretty old.
That was the only option they had. Either be a Pharisee, a Jew, or a pagan.
Well, Pharisees were Jews.
Pharisees were Jewish people.
Yes, they were the high up Jews. They was the highfalutin Jews.
Yeah.
Oh.
Make sure you wash your hands, but be an asshole.
Right. Yes, that's exactly it.
Right.
You gotta find loopholes in the law, man.
Yep.
So that's what the Pharisees were all about. Find a loophole in the law.
Right. I wonder if they had smoke machines and guitars at their
No,
temples.
they did not.
They're missing out.
Well, if you didn't want to
They'd have been more popular.
If you didn't want to be a Pharisee, then you could have been a Sadducee.
Nah.
They're the ones that only believe in the first 5 books. They threw the prophets out in the Psalms, and nope, first 5 books of Moses. That is it. It was a lot easier to find loopholes in laws, and there's less of them. You know what I mean?
About to say, they're. I can. Ugh. No wonder God said run them off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can definitely understand how at the time they were like, no, this is good enough.
Yeah.
No, this is good enough.
We got this.
just like they did. It's a theme that they have. It's a theme that they have. No. This is good enough.
Right.
No. Let us do this brass cow thing.
Yeah.
Don't mind us.
Moses has gone an awful long time. Maybe we should just start worshiping idols.
Even though we fucking bullied him incessantly to go up there and get instructions from God, we forgot that we sent him to go do that. Let us meddle.
Right.
Let us entertain ourselves.
Like, this is taking too long. I ain't got time to wait on God. Somebody make me a new God. Find me a new God, somebody. You can smelt and make things, right? Make me a new God. This is taking too long.
Get to making. Take whatever you need. I don't care. Oh, goodness. I missed something. Drums and hams.
Yeah. It's garbage.
The karaoke. Yeah, the karaoke. Oh, God.
Yeah, the
karaoke.
Protestant praise and worship is just nonsense. It is so bad.
It's almost worse. It's almost like a concert, but like the most saddest concert you've ever been to.
Right.
And then when you look at it that way, you're like, oh, this is a church?
Well, when you see it for what it is, essentially emotional blackmail.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really like, oh God, this is disgusting. Right. It feels dirty.
All of the
when you see it for what it is, it's disgusting.
All of the same mechanisms and manipulation that goes into the top 40 music
goes into praise and worship songs.
Goes into the corporate worship music that and so much
they use the same emotional chord progressions that I know get reactions out of people and stuff. No, it's horrible.
So much so. Notice the language I used, corporate worship music, because that's what they themselves call it. Because there is some sort of a corporate worship system that goes on in these non-denominational, completely unaffiliated places. They all happen to have the same music, just by happenstance.
Yeah.
No particular reason. Not because it's very effective at getting the tears flowing and the wallets open.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's what fills the collection plates, man.
It has nothing to do with that. It's the corporate worship that has been appointed by the offices of heaven for you evangelicals to do. Enjoy.
Xerox is the dancing at the front kind of guy. You know who's the dancing at the front kind of guy?
Who?
You know.
No.
Al.
I know.
Yeah.
Al is.
Yeah. My stepfather. Wonderful man. Love him to death. But man.
He is a dance at the front guy.
Yeah, him and my mother are super into
If your mom reverts and he converts, he's going to be for the kingdom. He's going to be that guy.
He's going to be the guy that sits to the front left. Yeah.
I already hate it.
They're not converting, don't worry.
I already hate it. Actually, I said that I already hate it, but you know what? That just gave me so much grace for all those people.
Right.
Because if I can look at them and tell my brain they're just like Al, I could do it. I could do it. I could hang out with these sweet boomers who probably have good hearts.
Yeah, there's just been a Protestant infiltration of the Novus Ordo Church, especially in the boomer demographic.
Yeah.
And it is what it is, man. That's why they act the way they act. And at first it used to really piss me off. And I used to be like, this isn't Catholic.
The more I accept them for who they are, the easier it gets for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I extend grace to them and be like, this is what you were taught.
This is how you do it.
This is what you were taught. This is what your generation is into. This is whatever.
This is what happens when the nuns beat the shit out of you for not standing like this. This is what happens when we stopped making the nuns do that, right? This is it. This is your rebellion. I can do it. Sister somebody ain't here to hit me.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You're allowed to do that.
I've come to extend a lot more grace to these people and just.
That's how you worship. It's not how I do it.
It's not the proper Catholic religion, but at this point, at least you're here every Sunday, receiving the sacraments.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
And you're not in a Protestant megachurch. You know what I mean?
Yep. You haven't left.
Like you've been enticed by the modern Protestantism, but you still rebuke it to a point. Yeah. You know, you'll let it infiltrate your Catholic church a little bit, but
not any further than it needs to.
Right.
Just enough to where I feel like I'm getting something.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're still getting valid sacraments, and that's the important thing.
Yeah. That's
as long as you are proper and go to confession first. Otherwise, you're eating damnation upon yourself, and you're better off not being here in the first place.
That is true.
But that's a story for another time.
Right.
Uh,
Honestly, though, I agree with you. And also, I know that Emily already said don't feel bad about this, but like, don't feel bad about that, babe. I don't think that that's a bad response. You know, obviously, it's a bad response if we run up and unplug it and start kicking over drum sets. That's a bad response.
right.
Don't let our anger do that.
Well.
But to hear it
if
and
it happens in a
immediately
Catholic
be
church,
like, ugh.
if it happens in a Catholic church, you get up and you walk out. If you see it in a Protestant church,
yeah.
you feel free to kick the drum set and break the guitars, and it doesn't matter. It's not a real church anyway. You don't have to worry about be about desecrating the house of God. It's not the house of God.
Now listen. Yeah, it's yeah, don't feel bad about that. It's completely, I'm not gonna say completely normal, but like that's an acceptable response. It's I don't know. It should offend your senses. It should offend more people's senses.
Yeah, should just
And-
offend you in general.
Yeah, and I think it's just like the cheapening of it all, right?
It's-
Like if we can't, if as Americans we get so butthurt about the recitation of a America the Beautiful before a game, a sports ball game, if you can have such a strong opinion about how poorly someone's saying the national anthem, but like you're totally fine with non-denominational bullshit worship music,
Yeah, no, South
there's an
Park.
issue.
South Park nailed it perfectly when they did the whole Christian rock band thing.
Mhm.
And Cartman just took all the popular pop love songs and like removed the words "woman" or whatever and put in Jesus.
Jesus, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I
I
wanna-
wanna caress you.
I want to lay you down. Yeah,
Jesus.
I want to lay you down, Jesus.
Yeah,
Like,
like-
that's it. But that's what these are. That's what
It
these.
is.
That is what
It is.
corporate worship music is. It is mainstream pop music, and they just substitute Jesus or God in
Throw in
for
a couple of
for a
hymny
woman. Yeah,
sounding things. Yeah.
yeah. It's all nonsense.
Oh, Mad Miller, you brave man. I went to a non-denom last weekend. It felt empty, like going to an Anglican next week. Nice.
Depending on the church, the Anglican church is very spotty. There's good ones. Look at Father Calvin Robinson.
Mhm.
He's more Anglo-Catholic, but still. And then there's really bad ones with women priests, and you know what I mean,
Completely out
very
there.
gay, homosexual acceptance, rainbow flags on them.
Yeah.
The Anglican it's just like all the other mainstream Protestants. Some of the parishes or churches are
Holding
okay,
on,
and most of them are gay and
have bent the knee to the world.
yeah, women priests and homosexual accepting and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, Anglicanism is just repackaged Catholicism. Traditional Anglicanism, at least as it was, they did the best to hold to all the traditional. In fact, they consider it the English branch of the Catholic English rite of the Catholic religion. For a lot of years, post Reformation, the Anglicans considered themselves still technically as a rite of Catholicism.
Yes, they did.
Even though the Catholic Church didn't recognize them that way.
They did not feel the same way, but
But the Anglicans tried to hold on to because the only reason the Anglican Church split off was because was it King Henry wanted the divorce? Yeah,
Henry
King Henry wanted a divorce, and the Pope wouldn't give it to him. So he said, "I'm going to start my own church." But to keep everybody happy, these people didn't want a new church. He basically said, "No, it's still the Catholic Church. We just don't answer the Pope anymore.
yeah, we don't answer the Pope.
We
and
keep
can
the
have
same
divorces.
sacraments. We keep the same everything, the same doctrines, pretty much." Not everybody can get divorced. Just me, as the head of the church, can get divorced. The rest of y'all are still. No, that's
You
literally
also-
how it went. Yeah.
No, I know.
So Anglicans originally stayed the closest to Catholicism, but in certain Anglican churches you can still find that. But for the most part, they're just like the Lutherans and the Presbyterians, and they all have rainbow flags and gay women priests and whatnot.
Yeah, that's a kind of a risky situation.
Yeah,
Vetted the local Anglican male priest and bishop. No rainbow.
Sweet.
Score.
yeah. No,
Score. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, I do. Anglicans have a very beautiful liturgy. If it's a traditional Anglican church, they have a very beautiful liturgy. In fact, the Roman Catholic Church has a special addendum, little thing set aside for Anglicans. It's called the Anglican Ordinariate. so that when Anglicans that convert to Catholicism still have the option for the Anglican Mass.
Mm-hmm.
So they're still Roman Catholic, but they can do because it was, like I said, it was copy and paste. A lot of people, some people will say that the Anglican Mass, the Anglican liturgy is more beautiful than the Roman Catholic one
Yeah.
because it was just tweaked a little bit just for more beauty.
It was designed to be.
Yeah. And it is a beautiful liturgy. So if they do a traditional Anglican liturgy, you're in for a great show,
A
bud.
treat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if it's one of those churches, they'll still use altar rails, and it'll be a confessional church, meaning you'll go to confession,
Mhm.
confess your sins to a priest, receive the Eucharist. Problem is, modern Anglican churches don't really have valid holy orders, so I don't think you'll get a real consecrated Eucharist and actual body and blood of Christ. There are still Anglo-Catholic priests out there with valid holy orders recognized by both the Eastern and Western Church.
Yeah.
But in most American Anglican churches, you're not going to find those people. If you go to an ACNA church, then absolutely not.
Mm-mm.
The sacraments won't be valid, at least in my opinion. You know,
Yeah.
you can make up your mind yourself.
I think as somebody who's just checking out churches, I don't think.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I don't think that's your main concern right now. Either way, valid holy orders or not, doesn't matter. If it's an ANC, if it's an ACNA church, it can be a very good church. It can be a very pride massy female priest kind of church. It could go either way. If it's an ACC church, Anglican Catholic Church, ACC churches, a lot of those tend to have decent priests with valid holy orders.
Right.
Most of them. Some of them are still out there and doing some dumb shit. It's kind of built into Anglicanism nowadays, where they're kind of free to go either way.
Make your own choices.
Yeah, but yeah, no, you may have a really good time at this church. So
I hope you do. I hope it's a beautiful one, and I hope the service is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have an Anglican church here
just
in town, just outside of town.
outside.
Locally.
There's one in Peoria. There's a big one in Peoria.
There's a decent Anglican population here.
So, when you walk into this Anglican church, what most Protestants, evangelicals, whatever you want to call, when you would walk into the church and you'd see what everybody calls the sanctuary, where all the pews, where everybody sits. If you're in an Anglican church, that's the nave. So don't go calling it a sanctuary. You're in the nave.
The nave, yeah.
Same thing in the Catholic Church. It's the nave.
Yes.
But just giving you a heads up.
Yeah. When y'all hear priestesses, don't you automatically think of voodoo? Yes.
Yes. When I hear priestess, I automatically think voodoo.
Yes. I was moved.
He was watching a recording service and he was moved. Yeah.
Like
I said, awesome. Anglican services or liturgy is very beautiful. I don't doubt that at all. That you were moved. If it's a good traditional church, it's probably a really good service.
Yeah. Emily made a point while you're talking about how the Episcopalian Church came to be out of divorce. Yes.
Well, yeah, the Episcopalian Church came to be because everybody that was in America come the Revolutionary War was Anglican. They were Church of England. But now we just fought this war to defeat the king, who happens to be the head of the Church of England. So we can't be part of the Church of England. So they came up with Episcopalian, which is basically just Anglicanism in America.
Right.
With somebody else as the head of church instead of the King of England. So, but yeah, it just split off from Anglicanism, just like Anglicanism split off from Catholicism.
Yep.
So,
as it be doing.
Yeah, Episcopalian priestesses.
They just kind of shiver.
Yeah.
It's not a good feeling.
No, it is not. It feels dirty. Words. You just said that. Now I feel like I need a shower after reading that. Thanks, Christina. You just ruined my night.
Ruined.
Ruined. Okay, so we're an hour and 10 minutes. I'm tired. It's been a really long day.
Oh, I had two things I wanted to pop up before.
Real quick. You got 5 minutes.
You stop it. This one from Russell Brand, from February 11th. It's an old one.
Oh yeah, I remember when I saved that.
He says, it must have been deliberate for Christianity to seem boring. Quite frankly, it's been an elevating, extraordinary, and somewhat inward carnival of sorts for me in the best of ways. And I liked that Tom bookmarked that. I appreciate that sentiment.
But it's true. When you really look into Christianity, like really look into it past the surface level Bible. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing. There's plenty. Read your Bibles. You know, definitely read your Bibles, but go deeper than that.
Yeah, you can get further.
I
than
think
that.
that's where the boring Christianity really came from, was just strictly keeping to the Bible and don't read anything other
Sola
than the
Scriptura.
Bible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sola Scriptura. Don't look at the church history.
It
Don't look at the
narrows
church
you
fathers.
down.
Don't look into all these saints, because we don't believe in saints.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the thing, is like there's not, once, if you're a Sola Scriptura person, there's not much there. There's just, and as a human in 2025, like, you're not even happy with basic cable anymore, my dude. You have basic cable, and you have the add-ons, and you have a streaming service or 5, and then you still can't figure out what you want to watch.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Like, that's not enough for the average human being in 2025. No wonder they're unhappy with it. No wonder they run away from it. If that's all you're offering, like, why would people stay? Instead, offer them the 2,000 years of tradition and history that the freaking Catholic Church has.
Yes.
Um,
But yeah, no, honestly, I think Sola Scriptura is what has led to the right there, the church the Christianity seeming boring.
mhm.
You know?
Yeah, it's a big factor in it. And then there's one from Miss B Converted here. And she says, this sounds like one of those problems that can only be remedied by prayer and fasting. Surely you're not claiming that for the first 1,000 plus years of Christianity, no one felt the presence of God in church, because the Catholic Church was the only Christian
Oh
church.
yeah, this chick who said I never felt the presence of God inside of a Catholic church. That's the only place I ever felt the presence of God.
And
I've been to a bunch of churches in my life, and that was the first time I walked into. I was like, oh, there's God. I found him.
Yeah.
I see where you're at now.
Yeah. That's yes, 1,000% what Tom just said. It's and more than your fleshy feelings in 2025 that are completely out of your control anyways, right? What were you listening to before you got to church? What did you eat for the last 24 hours? How much alcohol have you had? You know what I mean? Like,
Right, you
you're
shot
not
the church hungover. What's going on here?
right. Like, there's so many factors to go into how you feel in your meat sack in 2025.
But see, here's where I see this. What I read there is the Catholic Church didn't trigger an instant emotional response like the rock band playing the famous 4 chords that make up every famous pop song.
Yep.
Without the 4 chords in the smoke machine.
Yep.
I didn't have the knee-jerk emotional reaction from the 4 chords in the smoke machine that I get at Pastor Joe's church over there.
So it's not it.
Right, because you're only looking for surface level.
Right. Surface level stimulation and
yeah, surface level emotion. You want that, you're going in the church thinking, what am I getting out of this?
mm-hmm.
You're not going to church to serve God. You're going to church to serve your own needs.
Yes.
So you're not really feeling God there. You're feeling
yourself and what you want to.
Well, you're also feeling a well curated emotional experience. Like it's designed to be an emotional experience in certain ways.
Yeah.
That's how they keep you there. That's how they get you to open your wallets.
Yeah. That's how they get you to keep coming back.
Yeah.
And they have to guarantee the same experience every time. Otherwise, you'll stop.
Yeah.
You'll stop coming in. And they notice.
Yeah. How about you study some church history and receive the Eucharist? I'll bet you'll feel the presence of God then.
Maybe. Yeah.
So.
I don't know. But it's interesting. It's interesting out there.
Yeah.
I definitely have been one to say, read your Bible, do that. I'm a big fan of doing that.
No, it is not possible to learn enough about Christianity.
No.
I don't think there's just too many years of history to look into.
And honestly,
and so many books, there's not enough time in the world to read them all.
While we're being honest and hanging out as homies, in my opinion, the real fucking rabbit hole, the real sweater thread to pull is the Christianity one. Is the Christian faith one. Is there enough to learn, right? Like, that's the one, that's the rabbit hole we should all be diving headfirst into. That's the distraction of the week we should all be focusing on. Not what new psyop do they have. Hey, did you guys hear about Saint so-and-so who was martyred for whatever the heck in this year? Did you hear about this crazy battle that happened?
Yeah.
Did you read this ridiculous heresy? Could you believe that somebody thought that? Right? Like, those are the things that we should be learning and
yeah, and also
fixated on.
Christina brings up a good point. People really about their pastors like they're going for them. And that's the other problem. People will I say people, evangelicals
Mm-hmm.
will get real on Catholics about saints, venerating saints, and
Right.
praying to saints. And how can you believe these people? But like you people have turned your pastors, these Kenneth Copelands and
Joel Osteen.
Joel Osteens into modern day
mini
saints.
Jesuses.
Yeah, you're essentially worshiping these people at this point.
Right.
But
Yeah.
but you're going to talk about our veneration of people who did wonderful things for thousands of years.
And that's fine. I guess my main take back and pushback on the saints thing to these evangelical Protestant people is like, you don't ever pray to your grandma? You don't ever ask your grandma for help or your grandpa for help? Like you don't ever do that? You're not that type of person to
Right.
do that kind of stuff? Maybe I'm the weird one. But usually when it's phrased like that, that gives them a connection to the action and puts it in their own perspective. And then it gives you the opportunity to frame it as it's not like just some random influenza of the day, right? Like this was an actual person who died for the faith. And because they died for the faith, I'm able to have that same faith in 2025. Had it not been for all these people dying for this truth, we wouldn't still have it in 2025. I wouldn't have the luxury of going to church 5 out of 7 days a week.
Right.
Because I can. Because thousands of people died defending that truth.
Yep.
So,
all right. Well, on that note, I think we will call it a show.
Okay, we'll wrap it.
It's a good time to wrap. Thank you, people, for watching. We appreciate you being here. We love interacting with the comments.
This was a fun chat show.
Yes. Yeah, we haven't had one where we really interacted. We had a back and forth with the chat for a little bit.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun for us, guys. We really appreciate it.
Yes. Yes, Christina. We're the ridiculous heretics. And that's fine. That's fine. I don't mind. Because at the end of the day, we're right.
Yes, exactly. So
we're right. But yeah, so we're gonna get out of here this evening. And then tomorrow, I know it's Thursday. I know that I normally don't stream, and so this is just a quick, in case you guys are around. Emily and I are gonna be doing a test run tomorrow. I don't have a set time. Somewhere around 11 a.m. Central Time. Somewhere around there.
I thought you said 10. Oh,
her time.
Will that be 9 our time?
Anyways, I'm not going to be back from adoration until.
Okay, but you told her 10 her time, which is 9 our time.
Okay, well then I need to text her 10 her time.
Like I'm sure she's listening.
She's listening. I know she's listening. Anyways, 10 her time. 11 a.m.
11 her time.
What?
11 her time is 10 your time.
Okay, that's the one I want.
Okay.
So 11 a.m. Central-ish, somewhere around there.
Or 10 a.m. Central-ish? 11 Eastern.
Okay.
That's what we just said, and then you went ahead and said 11 Central. So you want it noon Eastern?
No. I don't know. I'm too retarded to answer these questions right now. I can feel my face getting red.
Okay. So, Emily, at 11 a.m. your time, 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. our time is when she wants to do this, okay? So at 11 Eastern, 10 Central is when this is going to happen, guys, okay? Just so everybody knows.
10 a.m. Central.
And if it doesn't happen on the way it's supposed to, don't blame me.
It's not his fault.
The 2 women were left unattended.
Yeah.
And you get what you get at that point.
That's what happens. Yes. So the times that he said.
11 Eastern, 10 Central.
That's the one. Yeah. So we'll be on there. If you were already subscribed to the Hard R Moms channel on Rumble, you should still be subscribed. In the event that you were not, it is called Auntie M's. EM''S.
Auntie M's.
So keep your eyes peeled. Otherwise, I'll send it in the chat. Don't worry.
Yes.
But yes. Eastern.
Yes, you're Eastern, sweetie.
Thank you.
Appalachia is Eastern time. Yes.
Oof. All right. Cool. Yeah. I got lobster red there for a minute. That was great. I tried to hide off the screen, but I wasn't able to.
Oh, hello, horseshoes and hand grenades. I'm gonna guess that's Connie.
I don't know. He said, "Hey kids," so that leads me to think it's ass butt.
It could be. I'm older than both of them. How are my kids?
I don't know.
Either way. Well, hello, horseshoes and hand grenades. Just in time for us to get out of here.
You made it.
Yay.
You're not counted absent. Okay. All right. Let's get the heck out of here.
Yeah, guys. So check her out tomorrow
at
10 Central, 11 Eastern.
Yes.
Her and Emily for Auntie M's. Then Emily will be back Friday
morning, 6:30 a.m. Central.
Yep. We will be back Sunday for our normal 7:15 p.m. Sunday evening show. We'll do the MASH readings and find something fun to talk about.
Yes.
So thank you all for coming out. We really appreciate it. We had a lot of fun chatting with you guys in the comments tonight. And we hope to see you next time.
Good night, guys. God bless you.
Yeah, God bless y'all. Thank you very much.
Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimitte nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo.